welcome to LicX. This week on the couch we have Sinocence. They'll also be taking on the Rock Band Challenge. I will give them £100 if they can get to 13% in that game. See how it goes. Come join me on the couch. Okay, so Sinocence, welcome to the couch. Just want to say your names to that camera there.
It's Morrow, Otto,
Jim, or welcome. First of all, the name Sinocence. How did that come about?
Go for it, Morrow. I got it in junk mail. I found it in junk mail like about 8 years ago. Just going through and spotted it and looked it up, and checked the site it was from, and it was like a amateur porn sort of on the net in California. And sent her an email, asked her sort of for courtesy to use it. Sort of changed the spelling, took an N out, and what was that?
So you got your name.
So nobody gets anyway because they all spell it wrong.
Yeah.
All.
I think I actually might have spelled it wrong here and I looked at it earlier. So,
Yeah.
So along with the name then, what sort of influences do you guys have in the band? Do you have individual influences or is there a collective?
Possibly, I would say collective at that point. Well, personally, I would start off with Slayer and like sort of Irish thrashman.
Like, to be honest, like we haven't actually. The band's pretty new, so we haven't actually wrote anything. Like we only have a couple of ideas at the minute because these guys are pretty new. Like only ours in about 6 months, Jim's in about a year. So like we recorded the album, but most of the stuff was already written. So it's kind of like in the vein of Machine Head and Metallica, Slayer, and then these guys want to bring whatever they bring to it. Like.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask next. Is there any sort of influences that sort of steered you towards these two guys to get them into the band, or is it just sort of a you can play with us?
He's a maniac on the drums, like he's pretty hard hitting, like, and Jim's solid bass player. Like,
I finally gave in after years of begging. I gave in after 6 months of you begging.
See, is there any local influences that you would think of?
No, they're all shite.
They're all shite. They're all shite.
Fuck that. To be honest, man, I listen to more local metal bands than probably the likes of Slayer and Machine Head. Like, so I get like watching a lot of bands out there, and there's some really good bands that can give you a real kick in the ass if you're not playing good, like So
Awesome bands like Fire,
like Two Tails of Woe and Honey for Christ and Condemned, Fire On and stuff like that.
What sort of genre would you class yourselves in?
Class. Like
Dirty
class metal.
Just put it in
Pure
heavy metal.
Heavy
A lot of
metal.
people pin us for thrash, but I think one good review I've heard before is like it's an evolution of thrash, only better, which I quite like.
Nice. Most of the bands actually we've had don't know what their genre is. They play in so many merges of different ones.
Like we do a lot of stuff. I mean, they're like the new album. We had a girl, Mary, come in from Went and Stir. She done some awesome work, like just stuck her in the studio and went go for it.
Vocals.
So it was really Celtic sort of thing. And then I had like Frankie put a lot of strings and accompaniments and stuff I thought about doing, but never really. I mean, our last album had a piano piece on it and stuff, so we're not afraid to and sing instead of just grunt all the time. Like we're not afraid to do that, but at the same time, like that'll be pretty heavy.
No problem. They say you're quite a recently formed band for the members that you have here. Have you done many gigs together?
We spent a lot of time in the studio, so we kind of went into the studio with a different lineup from what we left the studio. So R came in halfway through the process, so drummer left during the recording. So
Well, our first gig was like, we threw him on stage and built up from Valentine. Like his first gig was
4 weeks.
600 people. Like no pressure.
After
Like 4 weeks.
4 weeks, loads of
So
practice.
that was good. That was a good test for us. Like
Would that say be your best gig? Usually ask the bands what your best and worst gig is, but if you haven't had many as a band, well, these are now.
It's probably my best. I don't know you guys.
Well, it was pretty good. Like.
Done a lot of good shows
Pretty
in the
good.
past too. So
Would any of you individually have a worst gig? Say you played somewhere before that just went horribly wrong.
Totally.
last week,
Details.
Katie, bad amp, small PA,
Right.
nightmare.
We couldn't actually turn the amp down,
You couldn't turn
so
it to
we couldn't turn the PA up. PA was like that size, So
We had a choice in volume between 1 and 10.
we just had to power through it.
What would be your most stereotypical rock star moment?
Like I went to do a lot of shows in Holland.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, fuck this class, be in Amsterdam. Ended up staying in a factory, no like,
Heating
well, we had
for one.
electricity,
No
like, but
beds
no
for two.
heating, no beds, no food. Fuck all.
Literally no
nothing,
food.
like.
Basically a factory. Just
But there was cases of beer.
Like
There
this
was 4
huge
beers
factory,
you
like,
could ever drink.
seriously, like,
Yeah,
cold
it was-
beer. The band,
There was beer called beer. There's actually beer just called beer.
the band just gave us like 100 beers, and that was it. Like no food, no fucking blankets, nothing. Like
So it
it was good crack. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't very rock star, like, you know, at all.
About waking up with scars. I still don't
Yeah.
remember where the hell you got them.
Seriously, like it was.
Arms covered in scars and no idea where I got them. No, it's just
We don't do the rock star thing at all.
Maybe in the future you'd hope to get a few tours under your belt as well.
Fuck.
So you've got around a bit. Where would you like to most play a gig? What would be your ideal place for the perfect gig?
Brazil or
It could
somewhere
be
like that.
anywhere you want at all.
When you see like when you see
Massive
Maiden and
Cuba.
stuff playing Brazil, like this looks fucking bananas down there. Like, you know, I think you got a crowd going down there.
Something they could.
Like with Megadeth, like, you know, the crowd sings back their
That's
riffs like that.
Argentina.
Or Argentina.
Yeah, it
right?
was amazing.
That's just wild. Like, so somewhere Latin America would be. I think that'll be class. Like, love that. Like.
So, final thing, guys, is where's the strangest place you've played the guitar or your respective instruments?
Probably a World War II bunker.
Top of Silent Valley on acid.
Guys, thank you very much.
Obama.
No, thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, this week on LicX we have Sinocence on the Rock Band Challenge, and we have our very own Shane Todd as a guest vocalist because the other one's too lazy to do it. So here we go. See how they fare with this week.
Do you want me to be all like, ah, or just normal? It's just something on me. Let's tell this place up. Which one?
That's
I'm
rock
okay.
this. Fuck that.
This is my rock star moment. I like fucking new guitars in this bitch. Flat as that. Is that it? Oh, that bird? That's true.
Makes me sick.
Fucking holding a band as usual. You're a fucking pack of bastards.
Okay, so guys,
We're worse than this.
he's officially taken over as the worst band so far in Rock Band Challenge. Okay, so what they're doing now is they're going to ring Nice Guy. Answer phone. Leave a message, an abusive message about Rock Band Challenge.
When you've left your message, just hang up, or for more options, press 1 at any time.
Fucking rock, fucking band winning, fucking bag, fucking piece of shit, licking slag.
Twice.
There you go, a nice encouraging message from Sinocence to Nice Guy.
It's good to have friends.
So there you go. 12% from Sinocence. 100 quid is safe. Happy days. Maybe the Dead Parrots next time can have a bit of go at it. They'll be on the sofa for some questions and then taking on that Rock Band Challenge. See if they can knock Nice Guy off the top spot. Do you understand? I don't know what that was.